Pastor Michael, we're doing a season on questions related to heaven and hell. Today's question is, will I be married in heaven?
All right, so there's going to be some people who are going to love this answer because they've been married and divorced and burned, and they're like, I don't ever want to do that again. And there are going to be some people who are like, I love my spouse. I want to be with them forever, and nothing could ever tear us apart. And then there's going to be like some people who are like, wait a minute. What about sex? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're telling me I can't be heaven without that, right? So, okay, let's break it down. The answer is very simply no. Again, people responded all different ways to that. How dare you, Pastor Michael? I'm not the one who came up with this teaching, to be clear. Take it up with Jesus. All right, so let's read Matthew chapter 22. It's 29 and 30. It says, Jesus answered them, and this is the Sadducees who don't even believe in the resurrection. And he says to them, you are wrong. I love that line. Because you know neither the scriptures nor the power of God. By the way, was Jesus always nice?
No,
apparently not.
No.
You are wrong because you neither know the scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection, which they don't believe exists, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. It doesn't not mean that we become angels in heaven, but angels aren't married, and like them, we will not be married. And then if there is no marriage, there is no sex. And then a whole bunch of people go, how will we live? So the funny thing is, it appears that as you kind of take like a theology of sexuality, you take maybe the scriptures that are referencing that, and you kind of put them together, that sex is a shadow, not the substance. Marriage is the shadow. It's not the substance. It's something that points to a actually greater union, and that makes some people uncomfortable, I think, but like it seems to point to a really great thing, but if it's a shadow, it's never going to be as good as the substance. And so the substance is always exponentially better than the shadow. So whatever it's going to be like, whatever that means, it'll be better. So somehow there will never be a single person in heaven who says, I wish I could go back to that because that was better than this. It just won't happen. The problem we have is, we reference this a lot in this series, but Paul says, no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the heart of man imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. So like we can't, if like, I say this with hesitance, and so I know not everybody agrees with this statement, but for a lot of men, if sex is the highest pleasure of life, right, then what could be better? Well, it would be an essentially like lower than the lowest pleasure of heaven, So like we have a hard time thinking about this category of the heart of man cannot imagine.
Right. Yeah.
And so whatever it is, you're going to be fine. This is not meant to be, something to discourage you. Like in Islam, it's like 72 virgins, because like all these demons who made up Islam can do is find, well, what is like the one thing that will motivate men? And they find the greatest human pleasure. But even that, like what they're not quite understanding is A, it's not true, but B, God actually has something far better than the shadows. Like the substance that he's going to give us is going to be like infinitely better. And that's what you find with some of these demonic religions is they bait you with the best of this world. God doesn't bait you with the best of this world. He baits you with something beyond what you can even imagine. And so Paul says
that even our sufferings are going to result in an eternal glory that far outweighs them all.
Like if you were to take, some of the worst suffering in the world, and Paul went through it, right? I mean, on a lot of levels. And somehow, when he gets this vision of eternity, he looks at what would objectively be some of the worst suffering a human can endure this side of earth that went on and on and on and on, year after year, decade after decade, until he was murdered. And he's like, oh, this is worth it. This is nothing. Oh, this is a cakewalk. All I have to do is endure this to get that. And for him, it was a no-brainer. And I just can't fathom, given the evil of this world that some people endure, like what could be so good that it would make this look like a cakewalk. Like, I could do that again if I had to. If I get this out of that, all I gotta do is be faithful to the Lord, believe in Jesus' death and resurrection, and endure to the end in that belief and conviction. And I get that. Oh man, that was nothing.
Like, and to your point, there's nothing on this earth that we can even like put on that level, right? There's something that's so much greater than all of that like even the best experience on this earth doesn't compare to.
There's no carrot
going to be.
that I can imagine. But then again, the heart of man has not imagined. I just keep coming back to that. I'm just like, whatever it is, it'll be fine. Paul says in Ephesians 5:32, the mystery, talking about marriage, husband and wife, the husband represents Christ, the wife the church. The mystery is profound, and I'm saying that it refers to Christ and the church. It was never about the thing. The thing is a shadow. The thing is a temporary thing. All of them are temporary to lead you to Christ, to point to something better.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, I think, and like God instituted marriage, right? And God instituted our sexuality. But again, it's about a greater reality. Yeah. And that's exactly what you're saying. Like there's something that's much far better and that we'll get to experience. And we don't really have the words to categorize that right now, but the experiences and like things that are just true joy and true pleasure here on earth now are like pointing to that. Again, it's like a small little piece or like a little snapshot of what it will be, which is cool that we get to experience that now, but that's not going to be the case anymore. Yeah.
Let me throw a little wrench in it. You know how we say like in the Garden of Eden, like that was the way it was supposed to be. And then there's the new garden at the end of the earth where we live forever, the new earth, Well, there was sex in the first garden. Yeah. But there's not sex and marriage in the last garden, which is interesting that God created the first garden with the knowledge of what was going to unfold. Jesus was the lamb, Revelation says, who was slain before time. So like this was the intention from the beginning was an unfolding of history that included sin. Like you can't theologically get around it. Yeah. So even in the garden when it was good, and sex is good, it is not bad. It's not a result of the fall. It was pre-fall. Yeah. But even then it was created so that we would have a shadow of something that was going to be far better on the new earth. So it's an interesting tension between the first garden and the new garden, that God actually
before sin versus after sin. Yeah.
He put it there to prepare us, for that and to procreate in the earth and fill and subdue the earth. So
yeah. Well, thank you for more training on what heaven will be like, and
enjoy.
It's awesome to go through these with you.
Thank you.